It's taken me about 24 hours to finally compose myself, to bring myself to a state where I can create thought and words, because something is going on with the Emperor of Mankind in Warhammer 40k. Is he coming back? Like, is he regenerating because he's a perpetual into his normal human form and getting up from the throne and marching around? Is his body deteriorating and he's finally going to ascend to godhood, like official godhood? And then he's going to be the Dark King and maybe bring a whole lot of devastation to the setting? Or is nothing going to happen and he's going to continue sitting there like a vegetable for the foreseeable future? This trailer shows every cycle of where he has been during the course of the trailer, and then it leaves it up to you to decide. So we have went through the trailer. We've broken a lot of this stuff down. We looked at the lore implications, at the hints, at some of the other stuff that's been mentioned in the past to try to glean something from this, because at the time of this video, it's been 24 hours since the trailer was dropped by I should say, I'm gonna say Games Hammer. That's how excited I am, by Warhammer. And in 24 hours, it's got 1.5 million views. So this thing has got the internet on fire. It's got Warhammer fans on fire. It's got fans of games and lore on fire. It's one of the best trailers I've ever seen from them. And that's saying a lot. Like, these dudes know cinematics and they know storytelling. This is incredible. So we're going to break it down. The trailer is called No Peace Amongst the Stars, and it's the most ambitious thing that I've ever seen Games Workshop drop. It's an incredible trailer. And let me tell you what they showed us the most. We got a glimpse of a lot of things, but the Emperor appears multiple times throughout this. And here's what's interesting about how they showed him. They showed him first as he appears in the Great Crusade in all of his glory. He's tall and he's radiant, and the Golden Warrior, he united all of humanity. His eyes, they show his eyes a lot. They're clear, they're alive. Then they show the Golden Throne, and they show him sitting on it, the rotten corpse, the 10,000 years of decay, the machine keeping him alive and breathing, his eyes clouded as if he's drifting off, which he is. His consciousness is very active in the set, and he's influencing things in the warp and in the materium through his consciousness. Then they show the throne again, and the throne empty. Then they show him again, and he is fully alive. And then finally, the last piece of evidence that I saw that made me think some things is the light of the throne with the storms of chaos closing in around it. So you kind of see that beacon, that aura, that energy I was telling you about that the Golden Throne produces, and the chaos warp and the storms are closing in around it, and the light begins to flicker and become smaller. Warhammer is telling a story through these images, and they're doing this deliberately. They're showing you the full cycle. They're showing you birth, decay, death, rebirth. The question that I'm asking is which part of the cycle are we going to be in right now as we move into 11th edition? Has something changed? So is the Emperor coming back? Let's look at what the lore actually tells us is possible. There's a few theories that I would like to open up and dissect and leave open for discussion in the comments. The first theory is that he never really left us. And this is the strongest theory, because this is the one that people forget a lot. The Emperor is not unconscious on the throne. Yeah, he's in a vegetable state, but the guy is the most powerful psyker in the set. Nobody else does magic better than this guy. So he has technically never been unconscious. Now, he is in constant agony every microsecond of every single day for the last 10,000 years. He has been fighting. He has been holding the webway shut against demonic incursions. So the demons that exist in the warp, this other dimension that we pull from for our own psychic and magic might, these demons are always looking for an opportunity, an open door, a unprotected mind to manifest into this existence. So the Emperor is working to keep that shut so that it doesn't invade and come onto Terra itself and on humankind. And while he's doing this, keeping this barrier up and these doors shut, he's also powering and maintaining the Golden Throne, which is also called the Astronomicon, that beacon I told you about. And he's also fighting chaos on a psychic level that we can't even comprehend. He's keeping tabs on everything that the Chaos Gods are doing in the setting, and he's also taking his essence and his power and depositing it into different people in the Imperium, because they're making moves to keep mankind at the top of the food chain. Some examples of this: he has rescued Gilliman, the Primarch of the Ultramarines, from death twice. He has led Lionel Johnson, the most recently returned Loyalist Primarch, who everybody thought was dead for give or take 10,000 years, but he was just taking a long nap in the bottom of his fortress monastery. He has led Lionel Johnson to find the Emperor's Shield, a weapon he can use to fight off chaos. The Emperor's weapons are some of the only devices in the entire set that can kill a demon for good, like not just send it back where it came from, actually wipe it from existence. And the Emperor appears in visions to his most faithful servants a lot. He is more active and involved than at any point in the entire history of the setting. The man on the throne is not sleeping. He's been working. You just can't tell because he doesn't talk to you or move much while he's doing it. Theory 2 is the perpetual problem. He is immortal. He has been around for forever, basically, for as long as humans have been around. Here's the thing about perpetuals is that if they die, they regenerate from everything. They regenerate from death, destruction, complete physical obliteration, doesn't matter, they come back. Vulcan, who is one of his sons, the Primarch of the Salamanders, is one of the Primarchs who was a perpetual. He's came back from things that should have been completely impossible. His body has reformed over and over and over. He has a long track record of being wiped out to down to an atom where there shouldn't be anything left and then coming back. And I say was because right now Vulcan is gone. He's out there somewhere. He can't die, but right now he's gone in the setting and nobody knows where he's at. And the Emperor is one of these, a perpetual. He's the greatest one that has ever existed, which means that his current state on the Golden Throne, it might not be keeping him alive. It might be keeping him from regenerating, which if that's the case, think about it. If they took him off the throne, if they let him die, then he might come back better than he was before. He may come back whole and he may come back more restored than he ever has been before. That machine that was built to save his life might be the thing that's preventing him from regenerating and coming back. And that could lead to a whole host of things if he was to come back. Does he still have his humanity? He's basically been tortured for 10,000 years trying to keep the Imperium alive, and he shed most of his humanity way back when he pulled a bunch of chaos power to try to fight Horus. So what Emperor would we get if he did come back? Which leads us to my third theory, the Star Child. And this one actually came up a whole lot on Reddit forums and on one of my YouTube videos and on some other stuff I saw where folks kept saying that the Star Child is probably going to have some kind of influence on the setting. So the Star Child, before the Emperor fought Horus, he did something completely extraordinary. He cast off his humanity. He stripped the love and hope and the idealism from himself so that he could do what needed to be done to kill his own son. That's the only way that he could bring himself to kill his favorite son, basically. He needed to remove what made him human to accomplish the mission. It's really heartbreaking if you think about it. That humanity that he pulled from himself, it didn't disappear because of his psychic might, since this is basically a part of his soul, and souls are really important in this universe. When he pulled that part of himself and got rid of it, it became the Star Child. It manifested into another apparition of his existence, the Star Child, the Emperor's idealism, his love for humanity, his hope for a better future. It ascended into the warp, into this other dimension as a separate entity. The theory goes that when the Emperor's physical body finally fails completely, the Star Child will be born somehow, some way, as a new warp entity that will influence the universe. Not as a chaos god, it'll be something different, something that humanity has built through 10,000 years of genuine faith and sacrifice. And the only way that this birth, this immaculate reception, that's a football term. But anyway, the only way that this will happen is that one creature must die for this other one to be born. The Emperor won't come back when he dies. Something better does, which is good, right? Theory 4, and the most fun theory, although the most chaotic and the one that would shake up the setting the most, the Dark King shall arise. This is the one that should keep you up at night. This is the one that would be, let's just talk. Before the battle with Horus, the Emperor was absorbing this massive amounts of warp energy. He was empowering himself. He was preparing himself for this cosmic heavyweight battle he was going to have. But in doing so, he risked becoming something else. He risked becoming the Dark King, the fifth chaos god in this setting. But built from humanity's darkness instead of its virtue. He cast off his humanity specifically to avoid this, to do what needed to be done without becoming a monster in the process. He basically shut that portal off in order to pull the energy that he needed to, again, succeed in his mission. Here's the question a lot of folks are asking, including myself: is the risk gone? Or is it still there? Is it still waiting every moment that he exists in this warp-saturated throne as he continues to gain more power in the setting? Because the reason why he is God tier, God level, is that faith in Warhammer has power. And pretty much, not everybody, but most of the humans that exist in this setting do worship him as a god. And warp power and the manifestation of it and these entities that come into existence, they do so by a collective of souls pouring their intentions into something. So if these many billions of people are worshiping this guy as a god and thinking he has this kind of power, guess what? He's getting this kind of power. But here's what we actually know, though, for facts. The Golden Throne is failing. This has been confirmed in the lore. The technology of this thing is 10,000 years old. The Adeptus Mechanicus can maintain it, but they cannot fix it. So basically, they are Millennium Falcon in this thing and sticking a bunch of Band-Aids and bubble gum and good intentions to keep this thing running, but this machine is slowly dying. And when it fails, everything fails with it. The Astronomicon will go dark. Faster than light travel will become almost impossible, if not impossible. The Imperium will fracture. 10,000 years of civilization as we know it, it's been rotten, but it will end when this happens. And this trailer, for the first time in Warhammer's history, showed us the Emperor in official cinematic footage. No art involved. There's no miniatures involved. This is actual footage. They showed us the entire cycle: birth, decay, death, and rebirth. So here's my theory. The Emperor is not going to wake up or be resurrected in the way that me and you are probably imagining. He's not going to stand up and grab his flaming sword from Gilliman and he's going to fix everything. That's not how 40k operates, and having a Emperor miniature on the tabletop is going to break everything. Nothing will stand up against it, and we don't have the Chaos Gods, for example, to have that kind of a powerhouse fight. So that's just not how things work. It's the Grimdark we're talking about. What I think is going to happen is something much more interesting and much more terrifying. The Emperor is waking up, not physically, but his influence, his presence, his ability to act in the galaxy is increasing. He's having a more so of a psychic awakening. The Primarchs are coming back. The Great Rift that's torn through the galaxy and split the galaxy in half. These aren't separate events. These are symptoms similar to what we saw during the Age of Strife, when a lot of psychic awakenings was happening because there was these chaos storms and all this stuff going on with the Eldar, and this same kind of history repeats itself. This same kind of psychic awakening is happening, and something is building towards a culmination that has been in motion for these last 10,000 years. And the question isn't whether the Emperor is going to come back. The question, I think, is going to be what comes back with him when his psychicness takes over. Because a being that has spent 10,000 years in agony fighting chaos on a level no human can comprehend, slowly being consumed by the warp, worshipped as a god by trillions of people, that's the same man who sat down in that chair. Whatever gets up, we've never met it before. I honest to God think that we don't want the Emperor to come back because the Emperor is not who he used to be. I also have this same theory about Vulcan. I think that when Vulcan comes back, Vulcan's not going to come back as goody two-shoes Vulcan that we know. He has been tortured and died so many times that anybody, including a Primarch, that messes with your psyche will take that to a whole other level. Not only has the Emperor been around since time began, he has removed his humanity, been tortured for 10,000 years, and just it's leading in not a good direction. And he's also super juiced by humanity into a basic god. So I don't think this is going to go good for the Imperium. But Warhammer said it themselves in the trailer announcement from the website Warhammer Community, and I quote, "The exact health and fate of the Emperor is both vague and hotly debated. Is he alive? Is he a god? Or just a rotten corpse on a throne acting as the bulb for a glorified psychic lighthouse?" The trailer artfully skirts this problem by showing all these possibilities, but you'll just have to decide for yourself. So they're not telling us because the answer changes everything. But what do you think the empty throne, that's the shot that's the most compelling for me is there's a shot of nobody sitting on the throne. Is the Emperor coming back? If he does, do you actually want him to come back? Drop some theories below. Let us know. The best one will get pinned to the video for all to see and debate. I'm Scotty Blades. Thank you all so much for watching. If you enjoyed what you saw, leave a like on the video. The more that you like it, the more powerful the broadcast and the more folks that it reaches on the fringes of the Imperium and the fringes of humanity's reach. Hit the subscribe button and join the League of Blades. Everybody gets a free Nurglin in the mail upon subscription. Results may vary. Thank you all very much. I'll see y'all next time. Bye-bye.